All right, welcome back. This is a Pica pencil clone. This is a company that's only in Canada. However, this is a standard product that you can find all over Amazon underneath different branding. So the reviews will be the exact same for what is in the description of this video. Um, and it will function exactly the same. Now, it comes in a 2-pack with 6 extra pieces of lead. We'll put that to the side for now. So let's start with a huge negative of this, which might be a positive for some people, but this is very snug. When it goes in there, even if you put it in there slightly, it's tough to get out. And oftentimes, because this connector isn't great at staying on clothing, when you go to take this out, you'll actually take the whole thing out. And then on top of that, if you don't grip right here and you grip this lid, the lid will come off. Okay, so that's the big negatives of this thing. I'm going to get them out of the way right away. But inside of this black piece, if you leave it in there, you will find, when you twist it out, you will find the sharpener. And just like your Picas, you will see that you can sharpen just the lead. Now the Pica pencil has the sharpener at the bottom of the lid. Now the problem with that is if you have this in your tool belt or in a pocket, you actually have to physically take it off to be able to use it. Whereas in this model, you have the sharpener with you as soon as you take this out. You don't have to fish this holster out. Here is a banana for scale. Please subscribe. Guess what? I wrote a children's book called Who Says Pooh? It's a funny, read-aloud children's book about words in different languages that sound phonetically like the English word poo. Buying a book today helps support my channel. And also, you'd brighten up my day a whole bunch. Link is in the description. Now back to the video. Now let's use this real quickly. We're going to put this off to the side. Okay, so again, forgive my writing. I am not the best writer. And apparently I'm not the best speller. Please subscribe. Wow. Ignore that. I don't know what that is. But it writes pretty well. And this is this is more of a dull tip, and it writes pretty well. Let's sharpen it and see how fine of a point we can get. All right, so I've sharpened it. This writing is dull and this is sharp. So after a little bit of test writing, and you can see here, so this is the dull writing with my terrible spelling mistake, and you can see here is as sharp as I can get it. So it's not a huge difference, but it's also giant, like I think it's 2.8 millimeter thick lead. Typically how I was writing was like that, but you can really so you can see here with the choke up test, I can get a little bit better writing. Now, obviously my writing is just bad to begin with, but you can actually choke up and it's fairly tolerable. It's not the most comfortable writing experience, but it's doable. Doable. Here is something else to write on. It actually writes on there, okay? And here's cardboard. Cardboard. Yay, it writes on cardboard. And finally, you're probably using this for wood. So here's a terrible piece of wood. And it writes. Boom. This obviously is for carpenters and everything like that. I actually use it for more than just carpentry because I like how thick the pen is. I like that it doesn't break very easily. And I just like how robust this is. However, um, typically you can see the big difference here. This is a 0.5 millimeter. Here's 2.8 millimeter. Here's 0.5 millimeter. So it is a huge difference in size and obviously robustness. This is not going to break nearly as easy as this one will. This one will break like if the wind is too strong. Some people use this for marking on woods. So to give you an idea, okay, here's that wood example that I have before. So obviously it writes a lot finer. What mark's going to be easier to see on wood? You tell me. But if I'm also not being careful, see how long that pence thing is, I can easily crack that off. Now I'm not writing anything. So I have to be careful to not crack the lead. And then here's, I cracked it. So you can see the difference here, 0.5 millimeters, 2.8 millimeters. So to be honest with you, when they write, they don't make that much of a difference in size. So that's good to note. And one other thing I'd like to compare it to is these guys. So this is an artist's pencil, but it's a standard 2B pencil, or not 2B. And it writes, I would say, just about as thick as the 2.8 millimeter. So that's just a nice little note. The reason I want to show this as a comparison as well is that I know a lot of you people would just prefer to use a 2B pencil or a Carpenter's pencil as opposed to this, because you know, if you lose this or a Carpenter pencil, it's like no money. If you lose this, it's a problem. But this is in the sheath, right? You're not going to lose this because of that. If you put it down, it doesn't roll as easy because it has that. A Carpenter pencil won't roll, but a regular 2B pencil will. A cool thing about this though is if you actually put it in there and push it just a little bit, it's going to stay in. Because what's happening is right around right there, it's actually squeezing the wood when you push it in with a little bit of force, and will actually keep it in there. So if you have no interest in using these because you want to use your standard normal pencils, you can with this style of holster. Now keep in mind, right, it has to, like, you need to be able to grab it to get out. So really, you can only really have a pencil that's about that short. If it gets any shorter than that, it won't work in this. So maybe it's not the best idea, but I'm just showing you that you can do it. Now, if you think it's cool that you can put a normal pencil inside a holder like this, check out my review on the OctoStik ink deep hole marker, because there's some really cool stuff you can do with the holster of that guy. Thanks for watching.